at 620 CKRM.
Back in downtown Regina. You're watching the stream. There you see the aerial view. You see the three of us here. Thank you for tuning in. However you are tuning in, maybe you're listening to this later in podcast form. We appreciate it. It's Thursday. The SportsCage for Access Communications. Coulson's here. Sharky's here. We are rolling. Canada wins. Canada convincing.
Love it.
Not even close. Can we say that? I don't know if we can say that. I don't know how cocky we want to get. I don't play it. We're going to update you everything Olympics as we come. We're going to chat about the Olympics. We're going to let you tell us what you think about that first game, because the Prairieland Rentals text line is always open. 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street in Regina. You get to deal with the owner, whatever you need when it comes to renting. Maybe it's a power tool.
Ooh,
maybe it's something bigger. But right now, with no snow, I think this is a fake.
Oh, it is.
Fake spring.
We're still going to get it. We're still going to get it. Yeah.
Fake spring is on. Yeah, we're still going to get drilled. Okay, the show, like I said, we're going to talk lots about the Olympics and what's happening. Scott Schultz.
Wow.
It's been about a month since we've had the old 96er.
Oh, longer than that.
Schultz. Well, I think I had him and you weren't here.
What?
Maybe?
What?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Scott Schultz is going to be with us in about 15 minutes' time. We're going to talk CFL. We're going to talk Riders. We're going to talk free agency. And it'll probably go off the rails a little bit with Schultz. We're going to talk to Joel Houseman from Sask Hockey, because it is a huge weekend for Sask Hockey. It's a huge weekend for bantam-aged players, 2011 borns in Saskatchewan. Starts tomorrow in Balgony. The Sask First Top 80. 4 teams, all the scouts, WHL general managers.
Everybody.
It's a big deal. You went through this back in the day, you were saying.
I did. Yeah, I coached in it like 4 times, 5 times.
Yeah, so big,
pretty cool event.
Good chat with Joel here in hour 1. Hour 2, Arash Madani. We're going to talk clutch performer. What a night last night for a certain someone playing hockey.
Holy Dinah.
NASCAR report is back.
It is.
It says on my sheet the NASCAR report is back for Croft Electric.
It's back, baby.
We are going to talk NASCAR. Rubbin is racing. Hour 3, Glen Suitor and Benny Walchuk with the SJHL report for Chad Reach. All right, let's get down to it. Canada comes out in that game. Canada comes out. And it's like, well, they're probably going to start hot. But the first, I think I counted it was 28 seconds. It was like, Czechia must be a whoa. And it was a pro Czechia crowd.
Yeah,
how did they get so many tickets? Can someone look into that?
It's close.
And Canada looked really, really good. I thought early too, Jordan Binnington, which we were unsure of course he was going to start.
Yeah.
He looked very Carey Price-ish, just calm. I'll just grab this out of the air.
Yeah.
I'll just do this.
I think somebody's done some psych work with him, because he's even in the post-game interview I watched him, he was so mellow. Like, yeah, I'm just doing my part and helping out. And
what impresses you right off the hop, though, in that game?
They dominated Czechia. I thought Czechia would be better. I thought they would bring more to the table. They dominated them. Czechia was chasing. They were chasing the puck. They were chasing bodies. They couldn't keep up. They were out of. Canada was so good. Yeah.
Is there a player that, besides Binnington, is there a player that surprised you, impressed you, that maybe you were kind of like, well, I'm going to wait and see how this guy looks, or anything like that?
I wanted to see Macklin Celebrini. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping to see some flashes, and he got Canada's first goal. He did get bounced around a little bit, like he was the 19-year-old playing with men. He got banged up a little, but I think Celebrini was still pretty impressive. I think he did a really nice job. Contributed with McDavid, got in places that McDavid could find him and get him the puck. But the other thing is, I like the depth, and I like the way they rolled the lines. I mean, we got a goal out of Suzuki. We got Horvat got a goal. I like the way that group played 1 through 12 up front. Yeah.
Jeff saying cheering for a round robin win against the Czechs is hardly with celebration, boys. It should be expected.
Oh no, but it's a journey. You have to celebrate each step along the way, right?
Do we remember?
Yeah.
After Nagano, and then we went into Salt Lake City, and they had that, not forum, but the revamp of Hockey Canada, the summit.
They had a summit.
What is wrong? Because it was nasty. We were like, oh, we stink.
Who doesn't put Wayne Gretzky in the shootout? Besides Mark Crawford.
I don't know if it's, looking back on that, I don't know if it was so much Gretzky not being in the shootout. It was more Brendan Shanahan was the last guy. That was our Joe Nieuwendyk. Did the data show that Joe Nieuwendyk was a good shooter? Theron Fleury, when we interviewed him on the Nooner, he told the story. He was like, they were like, all right, 5 shooters. And they were like, he tells the story. He's like, what do you mean 5 shooters? Like, we're seriously doing a shootout to decide this? And the ice was so bad.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Ray Bourque, because he hit targets like crazy in all-star games, they're like, put Borky out. He'll get a job done. Eric Lindros had Hasek beat. If you go back and watch
he
it,
did. Lindros
is the guy that should probably score. So, personally, I've always been like, okay, maybe put in Gretz. I'm very confused on. I've never heard why Nieuwendyk and why Shanahan. But
yeah,
let's not go down that rabbit hole too much.
And I think everybody will tell you the same. They don't want to see the shootout at that level of an event, right? Even at the Olympics, the potential's there for a shootout. If 20 minutes in the gold medal game, still tied, they're going to a shootout. Nobody wants to see a shootout in a gold medal game. Nobody. You want to see the players play the game and finish the game. You don't want to see it.
So the funny thing about the Nagano thing that I remember, and then it was Salt Lake City. And then Gretzky was kind of one of the...
He was the GM.
I was going to say... conductors of things.
Yep.
And then we lost. Game one to Sweden.
I believe 5-2.
5-2. Good memory.
Yeah.
And Curtis Joseph was in net, and everyone was like, oh no.
And he had an egg.
And then it was Martin Brodeur's net, and he never relinquished. And Marty Brodeur and the rest was history. And then that gold medal game. Here's a question for everybody out there, 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals text line. What Olympic hockey memory stands out for you? Is it the Olympic? I'm talking Olympics, and female or men. Maybe it doesn't even have to be Canada. Maybe for some people it was Mike Eruzione scoring for the U.S., which I doubt it in this country. Yeah. I have a few that I think about. Obviously, that shootout.
I'll answer for everyone in my demo and down. It's 2010.
Vancouver.
Yeah. The
Sydney?
golden goal. Yeah.
Out of the corner?
Yeah.
On Ryan Miller?
Yeah. For everyone,
what are you doing, poke checking?
For everyone, 30 down. That's the answer.
That's it?
Basically. Yeah. Well, none of us, we weren't old enough to remember.
Okay.
Earlier.
We need some of the older demo. We need some of our demo and older. 936-6262.
Okay, I'll give you my summer one and my winter one.
No, I said men's hockey. I said hockey.
Oh, you only wanted hockey.
I don't want Ben Johnson or anything.
No. Okay, the hockey's pretty simple. It was back at the Salt Lake Olympics. My son was living in Leroy at the time. I was taking him back. We listened to the game on the radio.
Go Braves.
Yeah, and I can't remember which station even had it, but somebody had it on the radio in my Chevy Malibu at the time. And we went back listening to Joe Sakic score that great goal and everything else.
The snapshot by Richter.
Honking our horn as we were driving down the highway, and the two of us had a great time together. So that's a special memory for me. I didn't watch it on TV, and phones didn't have that ability at that time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You could still get it on the radio.
I remember the Chris Pronger pass to Mario Lemieux in that game that he lets go through his legs to Paul Correa. And Mike Richter is trying to get. It's like they were on all cylinders in Salt Lake City after dropping that first game. In Vancouver for sure. Sydney out of the corner comes to mind.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened in Turin.
Oh, we were so beat up before we left. I think we were just looking for volunteers by the time we went over. Like Brian McCabe was playing. Brian McCabe was on the defense, and I don't think he was on anybody's radar. But by the time we went to Turin, we were just trying to find healthy guys to go and play. So we were well down the roster of Canadian talent.
And then Sochi, I don't remember.
Sochi was Carey Price, Sidney Crosby, Chris Kunitz, Ryan Getzlaff, Corey Perry. Nobody touched us. I don't think Carey Price let a goal in the last 3 games. I think he had 3 straight shutouts. Don't quote me. I'm Googleizing that.
So that's what I feel.
Yeah.
And I'm like I said this yesterday, I am by far the big, like, rah Canada guy. But I just think we could absolutely roll through this tournament. The way that they're coming at you with those 3-4 lines, it's like, who is that? That's Bo Horvat. You know, and it's funny because when we talked about this roster, whenever they revealed it back in the summer or whatever it was, Bo Horvat was a guy I'm like, what? Yeah.
And even Mark Stone, huh? Don't get it. Well, you saw it today. They deserve to be there, and they're a big part of why we were successful today. Carey Price had back-to-back shutouts.
Do you have
and the final?
Do you have a memory? Hockey, when it comes to the Olympics, Jeff's saying witnessing the USSR's final gold medal victory over Finland in the Saddle Dome in 1988. So he's in our vintage. Yeah. He's in your vintage or our vintage, Jeffrey. The way he chirps, I always figured he'd be a younger fellow. But that's a good one, Jeffrey. The USSR. Yeah. And I know that Brett Cron brought this up yesterday in the show. It's like, it's not really best on best because the Russians aren't there. And there's a lot that goes along with that. But the Russians are so volatile when it comes to international hockey. We're either going to be really good or they could just absolutely fall apart and not want anything to do with it.
Well, the problem they have in Russia is they bring guys from the KHL and the NHL. So there's already a little bit of a whittling match between the two, if you will, because they're not getting along because they're not in the Superstar League or they think their league's better. And so the dressing room's already divided before they even show up. So, and there's so much politics, way more than a Canadian or American politics on which Russians are on the team. So,
speaking of America,
yeah,
the USA is in an absolute dogfight with Latvia right now. They got 15 minutes left in the second period of play. Latvia in those sexy-looking maroon jerseys. Here they go again.
The Flin Flon Bombers are playing Team USA
They're
right
just going to hang around.
Yeah.
They're actually getting some chances, too. It's 1-1 with 15:30 left in the second. Do we have an update on the Germany game? I know Leon Draisaitl.
It was 1-0 last I saw.
Coulson's going to look that up. Leon Draisaitl, I guess, scored early for the Germans. But leave this one on, Coulson. Let's just pull that one. Let's look it up on online. Did you watch any of that one, Sharky?
Which one? The Germans?
Yeah.
No, I've got another job, too. I can't just watch
They're playing Denmark. They're up 2-1.
So the Danes are in it.
That's international hockey so great.
It is. And, I mean, if those teams understand, I mean, you'll see it out of Latvia, you'll see it out of Denmark, you'll see it out of France or Italy. They'll try to trap up a team like Canada or the United States or Sweden, look for their chances, bottle up the neutral zone and wait for that chip and go. Give them lots of credit if they buy into that program and make that work. Yeah.
Courtney Shane said Salt Lake City for their memories as well when it comes to Canadian hockey. Here's another one I'll throw out that stays in the old brain up here. Haley Wickenheiser's interview about the Americans stepping on the Canadian flag or whatever, and her passion and emotion on that.
Yeah. Maybe they want us to come in there and sign it.
Yeah, that's what it was. So that's
Haley, good line. Good line.
That's another memory that stands out. But yeah, I think for me, Nagano, although we didn't win, too, is just how that all happened. It was like middle of the night.
Yeah.
It was the middle of the night. I remember I was sick. I was in someone's basement that I shouldn't have been in, and I was like vomiting. I was like, sorry, you shouldn't have invited me to sleep over. But then, it was Bob Cole.
Yeah.
Shanahan, he's got to score. No. And that was it.
It's over.
And as Canadians, we were just like, what just happened? We sent supposedly our best players.
Yeah.
And then Mario coming back for Salt Lake too.
Yes.
Like when you think about how he was gone from the game and then he came back and then everything it's mind blowing what he did, and he was so good still.
Oh.
Like if that guy would have been healthy his whole career, imagine.
He would have. He might have knocked down Gretzky's records. He might have.
That's what I'm saying.
He might have. He was good. He was unbelievably good.
Canada.
Remember, he comes back from cancer, and he was the first star and got 2 goals or something.
He scored like the first minute in or something. Canada's up to 7 medals. We won 3 more today. Michael Kingsbury's got a silver, first freestyle skier to win 4 career Olympic medals. Elliot Grodin finished second in a tight men's snowboard cross. Oh, I love snowboard cross. That gets ranked.
The ski cross is good too. Yeah.
And then Courtney Saru won her first individual Olympic medal, 3rd place in the women's 500 meter short track speed skating. We're up to 11 medals.
Nice.
The leaders, medal count wise, the Norwegians have 7 gold, but medal count wise, it's the Italians.
Yeah.
With 17.
They're on home turf. Yeah.
There we go.
Home cooking. They're ready to go.
Let's go to break here, and then we're hoping that...
sorry. Just watch Austin Matthews get knocked on his butt.
Let's go to break, and then hopefully we'll be joined by Scott Schultz. We'll talk some football. We'll talk some CFL. Keep the text messages coming on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. It's a Sports Cage on Thursday for Access Communications. Welcome back to the Sports Cage. Sharky's with me in Sharky Series for Flooring Superstore. Trent Dickin and his team, over 20 years experience helping you with your flooring needs, whether you want to do it yourself in a cash and carry, or they can find someone to do it for you, and the program is for Access Communications. Looking at the Prairie Land Rentals text line, we're asking people just what's that Olympic hockey memory that stands out for you? Sherry agrees with me. The Haley Wickenheiser interview.
That's a great quote, man.
I think I threw out 3 or 4, so I'm kind of cheating. The shootout in Nagano for sure.
Yep.
And then the pass through Lemieux to Korea, even though that game was in hand. You said the Sakic goal in that game.
Sakic goal was the
Salt
one.
Lake.
Yeah, that put it away. Yeah.
Colson says anybody in his demographic, it was the Crosby out of the corner. USA just scored. Looks to be, who is that? Getzel?
No.
No. The guy with the long neck. He plays for the Islanders. Makes it 2-1. Shots are 23-11 for the United States on that one. They're
Nelson is the goal scorer.
Brock Longneck Nelson. Those buddies were bugging him last year. It was quite funny. It was entertaining. Let's go to a little WHL report here while we got you here for affordable trailer sales and their outdoor RV celebration right now until the 16th. Family-run business. Every unit comes with an instant cash rebate. They're staying on site. They're not going indoors, so they're passing those savings on to you. And they're not selling. They're here. They're family-run. South Service Road.
Yeah, South Service Road?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I got to go look.
The Mass family.
I need a look.
Oh, yeah? You're in the market for a little Winnebago, a little travel trailer?
I'm looking for some adventure equipment, yes.
I could see you pitting in, unfolding the lawn chair, grabbing that case of beer, and making friends with everybody in the campground. But by nightfall, you would hate some people and they would hate you.
It's actually the opposite. I want to go where nobody is, so I get the whole lake to myself.
Okay.
And just nice and quiet, campfire, right? Me and the dog watching the sun. Yeah.
Last night, WHL, Regina Pat's big 2 points.
Yeah.
In Saskatoon. Youngest Regina Pat ever with a hat trick, Maddox Schultz. So points-wise, that moves them to 41, just 1 point back of Red Deer, who's sitting with 51 games played. So the Pats have a game in hand.
Game in hand, yeah.
And they're just clawing. They're clawing for that playoff spot. Moose Jaw sitting with 45, so they're still within striking distance as well. But that was a big 2 points. Pat's Moose Jaw is in town Friday night.
This Friday.
7 p.m.
Clear schedule.
And look what I just was handed.
Go on.
Tickets.
2 free tickets.
2 free tickets to that game Friday night. If you want to go to this, you got to text us 936-6262. I want to go to the Pats game, and you got to leave your Olympic hockey memory that stands in your brain. One. You can't be like me and pick 3.
Or all of them, yeah.
You pick one Olympic memory that stands up. Say, I want to go to the Pats game. Coulson will decipher who gets to go. That's a big game.
That's a big tilt.
Big game, tilt. Jimmy.
Yep.
Friday. We got Scott Schultz. We couldn't get him video-wise. We got him on the telephone.
Oh,
the old 96er. He's upgraded his technical side of things there at Lakeview Insurance. Schultz, thanks for making it work regardless. First, out of the gate, I got to ask you, because I had Luke on yesterday, and Luke brought up a really good point. It's a 9-team league, so then everything's magnified, especially when it comes down to free agency and the tampering window and yada, yada, all that. Where do you stand on how the CFL does it?
Well, I mean, listen, if you remove the tampering window, conversations wouldn't stop. They just go underground again, you know? With the way that they do it, I mean, until they can propose a better way, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, in the old days, tampering in the CFL used to be a handshake and a phone call. You know, now it's a calendar date.
That's so true. That's a really good point. Also, take us through. Is there a story when you were playing that, you know, maybe it was you, maybe it was somebody, we don't have to use names, where I was like, ooh, that was definitely offside. He's not supposed to be doing that. You
know what? In all of my years, I mean, I know it's happened. I mean, but like I said, it's always been, you know, phone calls and feeling things out. I mean, you know, I don't remember a specific where, oh man, they're tampering and they got a guy. And quite honestly, I don't know that I really care all that much about it. I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna fill the roster. We're gonna go line up and smash them.
You know, with the Riders have lost some bodies. Obviously, when you're the number 1 team in the league, that's where people are going to start sourcing people from. They don't go source them from whoever finished last. They source them from whoever finished first. But they've lost them for some big money. You can't pay everybody what they want when their day comes due, can you?
No, you can't, and that's kind of what happens. And it is a bitter tip of the cap is when your cupboards get raided, it's because you're probably doing something right. And it just speaks to what our guys have been doing, you know, Jeremy and the like, building that team, building the culture, and all the other teams are coming to raid that, you know. And it's just one of those. It's one of those deals where, you know, it's just next man up mentality. You know, I think you guys would agree. In the CFL, your 33rd man is more important than how good your best man is, you know?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. You know,
that kind of speaks, I think, to Luke's point, too, being in a small league.
From the rider additions or re-signs, what were the specific ones to you that you're flagging going, that's awesome, or that had to have happen?
Well, obviously the quarterback and running back, getting those guys. I mean, they're named guys. You know, a lot of times people in the CFL, the CFL nation, the fan base, I think they get hung up on stars rather than roster building. And it looks like, you know, Jeremy has been able to balance a little bit of both. They've got some star power and some names back. And, of course, from what he did last year, he's carrying that over into the offseason, and he's building that roster. And those are the unsung things that the fanage, you know, doesn't always pick up on. And you know, his ability to have built that roster and get the depth that we needed. And, of course, there was injuries and all the like, but it was able to service them all the way through to the Grey Cup, and it paid off big.
I also asked Leek this yesterday, and I'm curious to get your take on it, or what you remember, or give us maybe a look behind on how it goes, is the scouting staff and the work they're putting in, and they're seeing these bodies down south, and they're probably talking to different agents. They're talking to former coaches. This guy's NFL dream, he's kind of ready to just wants to play. He wants to give it a shot and then come back. What do you think about that? How does it work from what you remember, and maybe any stories from when you were playing on how hard that scouting staff is working to find guys?
Well, the fans see a training camp invite, and the scouts see a 3-year evaluation, right? And it's people don't realize how many players are tracked and for how many years. They're in and out, and they move up and down, and their situation changes. And another thing I would say that behind the scenes that people don't see is the sheer amount of film work that happens in U Sport and the NCAA depth players. I mean, with today's technology, guys they don't have to be scouring physically all over North America, although they still do. What they do get is a healthy dose of that IT, and because of the way that it is, you can scout and look at tape and video of any player anytime, and there's so many hours that go into that, and it's and again, in this day and age, you might not think it's true, but the importance of character and background checks, that goes into things. How many camp bodies are there to test the systems, but not really to make the team? I mean, all those things are a narrative behind the scenes that are going on, and the fans don't really get a chance to see that. Did
you ever, when you were playing Schultz, and then, maybe when you were done in North Dakota and, a cup of coffee and you flew by the NFL and seeing with all that, did you have anybody that, I guess because it was kind of, I don't want to date us that much, as kind of pre-cell phone days and then the technology and what we have now, right? But did you have a group of guys when you were with the Riders and you were like, all right, okay, especially maybe after the 2007 Grey Cup, and it was like, hey, we got to try and get as many guys back and all that, or did you know that some guys, it was like, he's either going because he doesn't really like it here, or this guy's going because he's going to go get a bag somewhere?
You know what? I think the sports narrative has evolved and changed a lot since those days, and we're talking the early 2000s. I think those narratives were there, but players weren't as emboldened enough to talk about it or demand anything out of those scenarios. Whereas I think today, what you see especially with sports leagues like the NBA, not so much in the NFL, where players are demanding their ways out of things and all the rest of it, that those are kind of the things that you see happening. So I don't have as much of an experience with that.
Riders saddle up and get ready to go, and you're more of a lineman guy anyway. That's your history. Is there anybody you've been watching you think they've got to add that's still out there? Do you have a highlight name that you think they should chase?
No, I don't think so. I mean, as I get older, I'm more about system building, and there's still a little bit of of the football strain that runs through you. That's kind of off from the fan perspective, and so I look at how are they building? What are they doing for depth? And it looks like they're lifting all those stones and getting that looked after. So again, at this point, I'm looking for dates. When is there going to be any workouts? When's the actual training? Now it's all that build to the spring, right? And we've got the weather the last couple of weeks to do it.
Yeah. There's some heavy money being thrown around, especially for guys that are leaving the stable here. As a former player, it's probably 6 of one, half dozen of the other, where you're like, damn, I needed to be born 20 years later to cash in on some of this. But it's also probably pretty good too to say, you know what, some of these guys, it's nice to see them actually getting paid.
Yeah. Right. Well, the biggest thing is the Riders don't lose players because they don't care. They lose them because they develop them very well, and other teams will pay the premium for them, right? And so, again, I kind of had mentioned that in the beginning. So, you're happy for those guys to be able to go out and do that, but it really is all about who are the guys that have bought in, and are willing to re-up and go in the direction this club is taking them.
Okay, and then what would your take be on, because we see, and we had people text yesterday, it's like, how's Edmonton going to stay under the cap? How's Ottawa going to stay under, how's the Rider? The Riders too. Are you of the mindset that go over the cap if you're going to win, take the fine, and maybe even lose a draft pick if it means you're winning?
Well, yeah, I mean, I listen, I'm going to make a correlation over to the UFC, the world of MMA. And in MMA, there's rules and regulations. There's only a few things you can't do. And one of them is poking someone in the eye. But yet we always see fights stop to eye pokes, right? Just recently there was a huge one with the heavyweight champion. And what I'm getting to is they still poke in the eye because there's no real detriment or there's no real punishment, right? So when you get in a situation when you're talking about, well, you're going to get fined, if your team is close and you're 1-2 guys away, I'm taking that fine all day long because you're going to get over the hump and do it. If you're a team that's rebuilding, then of course, I think it would be suicide because you're not close to the prize.
Mm.
Excellent comment.
Yeah.
Don't give it up for a draft pick that may turn out to be nothing. Yeah,
right. But I mean, you're 1 or 2 guys away. I mean, you look at what happened, and I don't know what happened. I mean, I'm only an observer, just like the rest of us these days. But in 2013, we're very close. I think they spared no expense. They exhausted everything they could do to win a Grey Cup, and they won the Grey Cup. And I'm for that. All the other sports leagues do that. We are a have team, and so until we're not, I'm not too concerned about fines if it's kind of a necessary evil of the championship.
Okay, before we let you go, I got to ask you, because this will probably be interesting. What's your favorite Winter Olympic sport to watch?
Winter Olympic sport? God, I do like watching hockey, but that's pretty generic. What I like watching is the slalom, like downhill skiing.
Yeah.
I can see you being good at that, Chelsea.
Listen, you might, a big fat guy like me, you might not suspect, but I've put more hours on the boards out at White Track Ski Area north of Moose Jaw than probably most. My best friend growing up, his dad was on the board of directors, so from about grade 5 to grade 12, we were out there doing everything all the time, and loved the skiing and always was a big fan. In fact, notable story, broke my leg in Fernie when I was 16 years old going off a 20-foot cliff in the pursuit of awesomeness.
Because obviously you skied outside of Moose Jaw, so you thought, heck, I should be able to take this on.
Oh, I was skiing in shorts. I had my aviator sunglasses on. I had a hip bag. I was ready to rock.
Oh, I can just picture it.
Chip and pepper wetwear.
Oh, now we're talking. A nice chip and pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you look good.
Probably a Mondetta in case you got cold tied around your hips.
Well, I could not survive the nipple rash from the Mondetta. I had to opt out.
Schultz, what's new at Lakeview Insurance?
Hey, we've got a next gen seed program out now. It's for seed growers and the like. It's a great product. Call Lakeview Insurance for more information. We're excited to help you guys.
For sure.
Love it.
There we go. All right, Schultz. Thanks for making some time today. Enjoy watching.
I appreciate it. I will get my technology in line so I can come back stronger next time.
Yeah,
love it.
That's right. Don't go skiing.
Yeah.
At our age.
It's not a good idea.
No, we're more chalet guys now.
Just ask Sonny Bono. We'll leave it at that.
I know that. That's good.
Obscure reference. Nice.
There he is, the old 96er, joining us here on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Lakeview Insurance. If you want to talk about the insurance on the crops and that, look up Lakeview Insurance. Schultz, you come up, pour a coffee. He'll talk for Do you talk?
Yeah.
Who knew you could talk skiing stories
with Scott
Schultz?
Hey, 3-1 USA, Tage Thompson.
They've missed some open nets here.
Yeah, and
Merzlikins in net is going to be like Denny Lemieux on Slapshot after this game.
He's suing for lack of support.
He's going to fall into his stall all crazy like. It's a sports cage. Sharky's here for Flooring Superstores for Access Communications. When we come back, we're going to talk Sask hockey. The big top 80 going down in Balgony starting tomorrow. It's a Sports Cage, home of local sports in Saskatchewan, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. All right, welcome back to the United States. Really laying it on now. Latvia, they're up 4-1. Longneck Brock scored another one for the Americans. They're making it look easy.
They're running away now. Their shots are like 32-11.
Really snapping it around.
Yeah.
Elvis Merzlikins is getting it full in game one here. Canada did win 3 more medals today. Our count's up to 7. The other hockey game, Germany, is now up on the Danes 3-1.
Nice.
Going into the third period of play. So we'll keep you updated here. Western Pizza, grab a wheel tonight. Watch. I'm sure there's a rerun of the Canadian game if you missed it somewhere today, or grab some souvlaki, some ribs, some salad. All the Greek favorites you love. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Joining us from Hockey Saskatchewan, Joel Houseman, as we get set for the top 80 tournament tomorrow in Balgony. Joel, for a lot of people out there listening that don't know what the heck we're talking about, how do you explain what's going to happen in Balgony starting tomorrow morning?
Well, thanks for having me on. I guess the easiest way to explain it is, our annual SAS First program. So this is for second year U15 players going into the draft. And, the tryout started back in December with over 300 kids. And there was an initial round of cuts. We had a tournament, a top 160 tournament at Christmas time. And then there was a second set of cuts to form the top 80, which is happening tomorrow. So this is the top 80 male youth 2011 born players in our province that are A, going into their WHL, SJHL drafts, and B, trying out for our provincial teams. So we're all talking Olympics today. We were watching the game in here this morning, right? So a year from now will be the Canada Games, which is the biggest youth type of Olympic event in our country. And that's what the boys this weekend are trying out for. We're picking our team, December 1st of 2026 here. And basically a year from now, the Canada Games will start. So this is kind of a part of that selection process, but it's also exciting to watch the top 80 players compete at this tournament. It's a great hockey and a great tournament.
You guys have changed the format over the last 10 years, or at least since I was involved, which is 10 years ago, for the betterment of SHA, might add. You guys have
got rid of you.
They got rid of me. But you've changed the format from the 1 to 8 zones to the kids now participate with any one of those groups, right? So it's a little more even, if you will, 1 through 8.
Yeah, that's right. When I was a kid and for many, many years, we did the zone tryouts and it worked for its time. But as time went on, and things changed, we kind of looked at changing it. We didn't want to, we want the best players, as they go through the process here. And I know one of the last years that we had the zone team, some of the zones were, had more talent than the other ones, right? So there was kids getting cut from, Saskatoon, Regina, Zone 1, Prairie Storm Zone, those types of places that, would have made the provincial team or, been close to it, right? So we just kind of revamped it into a north and a south part of the province, and it's worked really well. The last year we had the zone teams, I think I was looking this morning, like Max Shields was one of the goalies that they couldn't make the Saskatoon zone team at that particular year. And 2 years later, he made Team Canada. So that was, and it was nothing against the two boys that made it ahead of them. They just, that year they were loaded with goalies, right? So we just wanted to change that part of the program just to ensure the best players keep moving through it.
Great move, by the way.
Oh, for sure. As he explains it that way, that just it's like having zones in cities now. Well, there's some zones where they're just not hockey in the bigger cities, for sure. One question, and I know there's been people that have asked this, and I've been curious, why does Hockey Saskatchewan do it early? Like you said, it was December to there, and then now we're doing it here, where some of the other provinces kind of wait till the season's over and do their thing there. Why does Hockey Sask do it during the season, and how we do it now?
Yeah, we changed that too a few years ago. And, each province has their own ways of doing things, especially with their own club systems and how they run playoffs and those types of things. For us, we used to do it in April too. Back then, I always found it hard for the kids because a lot of kids would lose out of playoffs or not make playoffs, the next 2 weekends, and then they would sit for 2 months. And, and during their draft year, it was hard, especially as someone that grew up in a small town, it was hard to find ice and those types of things for them. The other thing I've noticed, when you're seeing, this is me personally, but when you're seeing them in season, you're seeing them at peak hockey conditions. So they're in shape, they're skating all the time, they're practicing all the time, they're playing meaningful games. It's ramping up as we go to the playoffs. So we're seeing the best version of them, in my opinion. Now, to each their own. Like I said, other provinces do it different ways. That's just something that we've noticed since we've changed it. And, having 2 events in the season is good for scouting. We're the only 2 events out of, the Western provinces that do it during the year. So we get a lot of attention from the scouts that travel in because, they're kind of up against it at the end of the season when they're trying to see everybody one last time before the draft.
That makes sense.
Another question around officiating in other parts of the game. Do you also use that for evaluation of those young officials, or is it just the players we're evaluating at this time?
No, it's for the officials too. So, our officiating department trying to say, they run a similar SAS First program for officials that it's, almost ran the same way. So the kids go to the tryouts and, they make rounds of tournaments. And then, the officials that get selected to go to the Canada Games kind of go through this same process. Our officiating crew that's at the Olympics right now, we have 4 officials, I believe, there. Like, they all went through the SAS First program. So, it's there for that, and it's there for coaches too. We've had many coaches over the years, coach Team SAS, then coach Team Canada. So there's different avenues for different types of people in the game.
My last one I want to ask here too, and just so people know that it's starting tomorrow in Balgonie, but this is such an experience for the kids, and really you learn a lot about them as players, but they're gone from their families this weekend. They're at a hotel as their team, they're bused, there's meals. Like, this is kind of giving them, I guess, a taste of the next level, and they got to mature, and that's, I think it's a great thing that you guys do here.
Yeah, it's a big part of the program is learning how to, they're all aspiring to play AAA next year. Lots of them will move away from home, learning how to manage yourself, manage your time, be away from your families, and, maybe not have mom or dad, relying on them to get you ready or pick you up or what time you're leaving, and being around different adults and part of even just eating different food, right? Like, there, a lot of kids, live at home and have their special pregame meal and, these types of things. But, sometimes you get into different environments, going, we are preparing for the Canada Games too. So going to the Canada Games, like, you're going to be in a weird environment away from your family too, right? So you're in a big village with a big cafeteria. So, just part of learning how to manage yourself and as you're growing up, and how to be a hockey player living away from home. I know it's only a weekend, but it's a good test for it, and it's a lot of fun to stay with different guys. These kids have been playing against each other all year, so now they're they might not be getting along during the year, but now they're teammates. Yeah, so that's a different thing too, right? So
it's a lot like Team Canada, Team USA.
Exactly. Right?
Exactly.
Really. Yeah. Really cool. Are you guys having a beard off at Hockey Sask? What's it? Because I've never seen you with a beard. Now it's like Mopper's got one. Kelly McClintock likes to roll a beard. Are you guys having a little contest there or what?
Yeah, just our winter growth, I would say.
All right, Joel. I know it's a really busy weekend for you and all the team there. So appreciate you taking some time today. Best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Right on.
Great program, Joel. Good job.
Joel Houseman joining us from Hockey Saskatchewan on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. It starts tomorrow in Balgony. Everything's at Hockey Sask's website, the schedules, the stats, everything like that. Let's go to break here. We'll come back with the ticker. It is the Sports Cage on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. All righty. If you missed it, Canada, big win. 5-0 over Czechia. First game for the men at the Olympics. The women also 5-0 over Finland today. Canada, we're now up to 7 medals. We won 3 today. Michael Kingsbury, freestyle skier. Mikhail. Aliette Grodin, snowboard cross. And Courtney Saru. A third place finish. We're up to 7 medals. We're watching USA's up 4-1.
4-1, yeah.
On Latvia, and the Germans are... They're taking on Denmark. They're up 3-1 in the break. There's a little Olympic update for you. Tonight at the Sixer. Big one. Let's not break any glass, kids.
Yeah.
If you work at Real, get somebody on it. And maybe get 2 bartenders.
Yep.
They're trying to pack it again. Moose Jaw AAA Warriors, Regina Pat Canadians, 8 p.m. puck drop. It is going to be a good one. The last one. They're battling for first place. Prairie Junior Hockey League tonight. The Regina Silver Foxes, where there is no concession, at the Wickenheiser, 7:45. Fort Knox is in time. We don't need to worry about bartenders on that one. And our SportsCage.com poll today. Who won CFL Free Agency? Who would you say?
You know,
not the BC Lions.
Not the BC Lions. I wouldn't
not
say...
the Calgary Stampeders.
No, I wouldn't say who stole the most players, maybe who kept their players, right? Kept the right guys. So, yeah, I do think Ottawa's improved their franchise a lot, but they were last.
I think Saskatchewan, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg kept, but
Winnipeg made some
Edmonton made some changes, but again, didn't make the playoffs.
Sports ticker.
Got to refresh.
For Reliance, Heath. Switch to Reliance today. Get $200 cash back with a new water heater. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance. We are 1 hour in the books.
Holy smokes.
Coming up, hour 2, Arash Madani. We're going to talk Olympics. We're going to talk football. Probably going to jap me a bit about my Patriots. Oh, well. NASCAR report. First one of the season.
Woohoo!
And a whole lot more. It's a Sports Cage on Thursdays for our friends at Access Communications. We'll be back after news. Back for hour 2. I'll move over, Colson, so you don't have to tell me if you're watching the stream through our YouTube channel.
Get in the right spot.
Sharky and I. Sharky's with me. The show's for Access Communications on Thursday. Sharky is for Flooring Superstore on Park Street. Over 20 years in business. Anything you need flooring. We're watching hockey. USA 4-1 on Latvia. Canada, big win today. We've been asking people, what is their Olympic hockey memory? Doesn't have to be an actual goal. It doesn't have to be Canada. It doesn't. I love Angus chimed in on Paul Henderson in 72.
Agnes.
Agnes. I'm bad with names today. I got my Colson on. Agnes. That wasn't the Olympics, but we're going to let it slide.
Yeah.
You're okay. We have a lot Sidney Crosby, and I think that's the younger demographic coming out of the corner in Vancouver, sliding it under.
Also North American.
Ryan Miller.
Yeah, in Canada. So that was extra special.
You really like Salt Lake?
Salt Lake, yeah.
Joe Sakic's goal?
Unbelievable. Yeah. And the Mary Lemieux to Paul Correa.
Through the legs.
Through the legs.
Pronger.
Yeah.
I really go back to Nagano, even though we lost. And Bob Cole and Brendan Shanahan. He's got to score. No. That was it.
That's it.
It's like, what the
Mike
just
Dunn.
happened?
Yeah.
And Gretzky on the bench with his Jofa kind of sobbing. I go back to Haley Wickenheiser's
comments,
passionate speech with Don Cherry about the Canadian flag. There's a lot. So you want to let us know what yours are. 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line. Even better, if you want to go to the Regina Pats Moose Jaw Warriors game tomorrow night, just let us know the Olympic memory and then say, I'd also like to be entered for the Pats tickets. It's a big game.
It's a huge one.
Big points on the line tomorrow. And we just had Joel on. There's the top 80.
Yep.
And then there's senior hockey, provincial, game 3s, game 2, like big.
Yeah, I was looking at the roster.
Big
Holy smokes.
senior games tomorrow. I know there's one in Lumsden that I might be venturing out to, although this Pats Warriors game kind of could be the play. So, who do we got here? We had Rick and Steven say definitely Salt Lake City. So they think that. Rudy and Trey are the Vancouver Sidney Crosby goal. No one's going with my Nagano so far. Ed says Crosby scoring in Vancouver 2010. Clayton out in Wishart. He's not giving us an Olympic goal, and he doesn't want the Pat tickets. He just wants to chime in and say, I think Ottawa should rename their team the Rough Riders after all the signings they took from our team. I heard that joke back in when the tampering window was on.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, this is a fun Olympic Canadian standpoint, 94 Lillehammer. Still as an amateur, but Eric Lindros came up short of the gold medal. Lillehammer was the Peter Forsberg on Corey Hirsch.
Yes.
One-hand move.
Yeah.
Where
We
all of a sudden, everyone ran. Well, I was 94, so I would have been 16, 17. Svelte. Nice highlights in my hair. No. But everyone ran out to the outdoor rink or ran to your practice and you were trying this move. And until you could break it down on how he did it, it was just a butcher fest, but we all tried it.
Everybody did.
Like Peter Forsberg, like what kind of sorcery was that? It's like when Austin Matthews did the Zorro for the first time, or any of the Mike Legg with the Michigan.
Or Cale Makar's move against Chicago, right? That was a beauty. Yeah. You had to watch that one 3 times to figure out what took place. But Lillehammer, 94, Canada, right in the gold medal, right in the mix.
And Lindros he was still young, but he was a man. He was throwing his body.
He would have been 19 or 20.
Big Donzi shoulder pads.
Got to think, maybe 19. Yeah.
1994. So he was...
Played the World Juniors.
He was 17 in 91 at the...
16.
In Saskatoon?
Yeah.
Was that that was his second World Juniors.
I think it was his first.
He couldn't have played it at 15. That'd be crazy.
Oh,
David from Yorkton, Eddie the Eagle.
It's not a hockey memory.
No, but it.
Well, hold on. Eddie the Eagle Balfour did play for the Olympic team. He never played. I think he just sat and got after it. But Eddie the Eagle, the ski jumper.
Yeah.
I watched that movie on a transatlantic flight, and I'm like, what am I watching here? And it ended up being amazing. Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't seen the movie.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Yeah.
He was such a dork, but you just had to love him.
Oh, you just loved his enthusiasm. I remember it as like yesterday. He was the highlight of the Olympics in Calgary.
Do you? Yeah. I was a little bit young, and I don't remember that, but he funded himself.
Yep.
And I actually read up on it the last few days. I've been doing a lot of reading on different things. I read up on how did this all go down again. But the movie is a good watch.
Okay.
And then he went back in 2017 to Calgary, and he actually jumped. And it was his first jump in 50. I mean, why would you do that? What do you... David Yorkton, good one, buddy. Although it wasn't hockey, love it. And then Crosby's goal, Pat's tickets. Leave your name. Hit me up with some Pat tickets, Barney. We need your name, name and where you're from, and if you haven't won anything in 30 days in CKRM. But that's no name says Crosby goal. Best Team Canada goalie ever, Sean Burke. It feels like he played for Team Canada a lot.
He did.
And he had to paint his gear because back then you couldn't have like Heaton or Bryans on your gear.
Sean Burke was that guy that was always on the out when it came to like the World Championships and Olympics. Let's take Sean Burke. He's available.
Andy Moog showed up that one year because he was in a contract swabble, and he played goal with an iTech.
Yeah.
With a clear visor.
Yeah.
There's pictures. It's just like...
It's crazy.
I am going to roll with this as my mask.
This crazy look right here.
It's so many. 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line. Let's have our segment with Arash Madani.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Hockey, Olympic hockey memory that's burnt into your skull if you had to pick one.
You want a good one or a little lame one that's kind of neat?
Don't care.
So I'm at a wedding in like 2015, 2016.
Are they still together?
The person I went with, we're not. I don't know about them. I was the full passenger to this thing, let me tell you.
You were the plus one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which is kind of on cue for my track record. But I'm sitting beside this dude and we're chatting and I'm like, so what do you do? And he's like, I actually play hockey overseas. Canadian guy from outside of Montreal. Oh, yes. What's that vibe like? He's like, it's actually pretty good. You know, we play 45 games and then you pay for your room and board and, 400,000 euros. I'm like, oh, shoot, that's pretty good. Anyway, we hit it off. He didn't really know a lot of people at the wedding either. So, pint 1, pint 2, pint 10, pint 12, grand old time. Fast forward.
You get into a fight, obviously, with the person that you went with.
No fights, just fun. Fast forward, Pyeongchang Olympics 2018, I'm standing there watching the first hockey practice, and I'm like, oh my God. That was the Olympics the NHLers didn't go to.
Yep.
There's Maxime Noreau, the dude I was sitting beside at the wedding. He's got an A on his jersey. He's still playing overseas. Like at the time, was playing overseas, was playing pro. The dude I'd been crushing pints with is now an Olympian. And I'm like, let's go Canada. Let's go Max.
Good.
How did we do at that Olympics?
Lost, no medal.
No medal, yeah.
Medal.
I was looking up the roster just before I came on. Gilbert Brulé, Chris Kelly, Mason Raymond, Ben Scrivens was the goaltender, Justin Peters was the backup, Maxime Lapierre, and my buddy Maxime Noreau. So, yeah.
Nice.
Do you remember what you took for a present to that wedding?
Myself.
Hey, I gotta ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
Straight cash, homie.
Yeah.
As our guy Randy Moss would say.
Regurgitated gift card. It's crossed out on the back. There's not actually 100 on here. There's 75.
73, 75.
To home sense. What do we take away from that game today from your eyeballs? Canada first game against Czechia.
A bunch of things. One, I think that it was a real kind of eye-opener of what the goaltending situation is going to be, and Binnington did what he had to do. The other was, like, for this early in the tournament, I thought their chemistry was pretty good. The Marner assist to Mark Stone on that second goal was just ridiculous. Flips it over the defenseman right on the stick. And I don't know, I don't know about you guys. I think this whole thing is going to be a crash course collision for Team USA. Like, it's going to be all roads point to that, don't they?
We are really, I think I don't usually say this, we are really good. What about a guy, like we just showed the picture there, what about a guy like Mark Stone? 34 years old, everyone's like, why is Mark Stone on the team? You see the patience with the puck. When he handles the puck, international game, NHL, it doesn't matter. This guy fills a role. And I thought out of the gate, and just his patience, like I said, Mark Stone looked good at 34.
Here's the other thing. Mark Stone's also a winner. Mark Stone knows what it takes. Mark Stone's been through it. Mark Stone has played hurt. But it's an interesting one because he'd be the first, and I think Kyle told the story on the broadcast, he'd be the first to tell you he probably thought when the NHLers didn't go to Beijing in 2022 because of the pandemic, he probably thought, all right, that's it for me. By 2026, where's my body going to be? Where's my level going to be? These young kids are kind of coming up. man, the dude can still ball. The dude can still play. And so often with these things, like Mark Stone, lately he hasn't had to because the Golden Knights have been so good. Mark Stone also always signs up to play World Championships. So when you have a small little window of time to bring a group of guys together, when you know what it takes to build chemistry, to get rapport going, to do all those things, that's kind of the value that a guy like that offers. And he wears a C in the NHL. You need some of those when you're in a locker room with a lot of egos, in a locker room with a lot of accomplished players.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Stone was a guy that I was initially, when they said it, I was like, what? Like, why does he be there? And you just made it so clear why he's there. Like you said, he's a baller. He wins. He's a big body. He's a strong player. He can play down low. He can go to the slot. But I said the same thing about Bo Horvat, and he scores a beautiful goal today.
Yeah. One thing, Sharky, I remember being in Sochi, and we're after a practice or a game or something, we're in the mix zone is the area between the rink and the locker room. It's an area where you can talk to players, interview them, whatever. And Getzlaf was there, and I remember asking Ryan, I'm like, what's the most difficult part of doing this when you guys are all coming in from different places, whatever? And he said, well, the most challenging part here is for Babs is getting buy-in, right? Like every single player on the ice on these teams is the best player on their team and one of the best players in the NHL. Now you're telling them, hey, I need you to go back check. Hey, I got to limit your minutes. Hey, I need you to do this to free up somebody else. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm the best of the best here, but you only have a small amount of time to make this happen. And so you need guys to buy in, and, you get vets, you get leaders, and now a kid like Celebrini is going to see all this.
He's going to be your next leader.
He's going to be your next leader.
You heard that today post-game in the interview Jordan Binnington had. He talked about John Cooper, what a great coach he was, that he'd play for him anytime, anywhere. Loved John Cooper's style. And I think, like you say, John Cooper gets that buy-in right away from those guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an accident that they put accomplished coaches behind the bench who've won rings, or at least a ring, because you need some street cred with those dudes. I like Cooper's line today too, that somebody said, when did Binnington become your number one goalie? And he said 358 days ago. I thought that was a pretty good line.
That was a good line.
Cooper knows what he's doing. Yeah,
that was a pretty good line.
Has Bruce Cassidy won a Stanley Cup? I don't think so yet, has he? He's on the bench.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was kind of curious on that. Let's go to the women, and it's sometimes it's about business. Arash.
Yes.
And the other day it was a business decision. Canada or the U.S. were 1.5 point favorites against Canada, and as soon as it came down that Marie-Philippe Poulin was out, I was the first in line at the credit union.
Real quick, Barney, don't mean to interrupt. Bruce Cassidy did win a cup with Vegas in 23. My bad.
He was the Vegas guy? Okay. Yeah. And I said to the teller at the credit union, give me everything you can give me today. And I went and I put it on the Americans to beat Canada by more than 1.5 goals. And they beat them 5-0. We're in trouble without her.
Yeah, Barney, but the team is also in trouble if the benchmark is a gold medal. The United States are just a much better hockey team than Canada. Now, the good news is Troy Ryan, good Nova Scotia guy, head coach of the national women's team, says Poulin is likely going to return for the next game. But when was the last time Canada had any kind of real dominance over the United States in women's hockey? I actually think, okay, maybe the 2022 Olympics, but really beyond that, it's been a long time. They're better than us. We have to just swallow it up and admit it, and it's okay. They're better than us.
They're really young too. The American team's like 4 or 5 years on average younger than ours. Are they not?
Yeah, and that's a little worrisome too, isn't it, Sharky? Like what's coming up in the pipeline? Like it feels like we've been talking about Marie-Philippe Poulin forever. She scored the game-winning goal in Vancouver, the golden goal. You know, it feels like Sarah Nurse and Erin Ambrose and Natalie Spooner, like these are the usual suspects who we've been talking about for quite some time. So I don't know enough about what's coming up in the pipeline, but it kind of seems like, wait a minute, you know?
Do you think they're just picking the old favorites, the old war horses to take back?
I just don't think we're that deep.
Yeah.
We're not that deep.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know enough about it, but also like you do like to know the known commodities rather than roll the dice a little bit, but you know, I wonder about our development programs as a country across the board. Like we have not had World Junior dominance. We've not had World Junior success in quite a while. It's a real thing.
If you want to do that, I'll back you. I'll back up World Juniors. Macklin Celebrini's at the Olympics. He could have been playing in the World Juniors. Schaefer with the Islanders should have been at the World Juniors. You can find lots of 18, 19-year-olds in the National Hockey League, whereas other countries don't have that. They don't have their guys playing in the NHL at 18 or 19. We've got some stars there. We get those 5 guys that are in the NHL. It's a completely different lineup at World Juniors. Czechia is another problem.
Could be. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a fair point.
I want to, Mikhail Kingsbury, you've been talking about him for a while. Guy's a weapon when it comes to moguls.
Oh, man. So he now becomes the first to ever win 4 medals in 4 Olympics. He's got a gold from 2018, wins a silver, loses it wins a silver medal, and missed out on gold by an eyelash today. And by the way, like, can we just applaud people who win silver medals instead of saying they lost out on gold, settled for silver? Like, Kingsbury's 33 years old, guys. In September, he suffered a pretty serious injury. He wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to get back. He wasn't sure if he was going to be able to compete at a high level. He wasn't sure where he was going to be in February. And he said, man, I gotta give this one more shot. Like, this is it. And he invested in a big rehab team. And he said, everybody poured everything into this for us to get here to the podium.
It's awesome. Silver's a win. Silver's a win.
Is he, just ask Elizabeth Manley, is he on the Mount Rushmore of Canadian Olympians, or is that tough?
It's tough, but he's right there. Like, to do it for this long. Like, what I think is really cool is...
How are his knees? How are his
And
knees? That many moguls.
Yeah, exactly. He's... Like, first it was Jean-Luc Brassard in the Pert Plus commercials. Remember when he won gold?
I bought Pert Plus because of him and Kurt Harnett, or whatever his name was.
Remember Jean-Luc Brassard's line? My hair is, like, in control?
Yes.
In control.
I was drinking McCain Punch.
That's what I did
my
wrong.
Pert Plus.
God, we're old. So first it was Brassard, and then the moguls kind of torch gets passed to Alex Bilodeau, who won gold in Vancouver, first ever gold medal on home soil.
And they almost didn't have snow there. I remember that.
Yeah.
Up on Cypress Mountain, yeah. And then the torch gets passed to Kingsbury, and mission accomplished. Like, this is a dude who has 100 World Cup titles on his resume. And now 4 Olympic medals, including a gold. Like, that resume is complete, pristine, as good as it gets.
Did you ever use Pert Plus?
No. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
He's such a jerk, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, look who invited this guy to the party, Sharky.
Yeah, got to make a shot. Yeah.
All right. What else? What else are you like looking forward to? Maybe Olympics before. I won't even talk to you next week because I'm on holidays, not going to the Olympics. But what else are you looking forward to? What other some Canadian athletes that you got circled?
There's a bunch. I just want to make one quick point, guys. And I wasn't expecting to talk about Maxime Noreau. I sent Colson or Kurt Harnett. But I sent Colson a photo of this today, and I just think this is amazing. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who played like 8 years in the NFL out of McGill from Montreal. He wins a Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes and company in KC, and he's out there working for Radio-Canada, and he wanted to be there for the Kingsbury Silver today. And he posts a photo of the two of them, Kingsbury with the medal. And Tardif's caption was, "I'm just so proud of you, my friend."
Jeez.
Like, here you have two incredibly accomplished Canadian athletes, and like a Super Bowl champion who blocked for Mahomes kind of gets cut at the knees when he sees somebody win a silver. And I just think that's what makes the Olympics so cool, is that everybody's got a story about some kind of Olympian, because anybody can make it. Like, Olympics are about community, whatever your community may be. And I thought that was really neat to see two accomplished athletes kind of sharing that moment today.
Very cool.
I wasn't here Tuesday. Anything you want to come at me? Anything about the Super Bowl? I still won. I won nice, healthy
I didn't.
cabbage on the under. I had a great friend who told me take a defensive touchdown bet.
Yes.
Took that.
5.5 to 1.
Yeah. Oh, mama. I missed on I took the 3-point game. I took the tie on Sports Select, so missed that one. But then we ended up getting a split on our Survivor pool. So that came in nicely. It was a very lucrative Super Bowl for this fella, but boring to watch.
Boring to watch.
Dull. Oh,
They were in it too. The scary thing, if you're not a Patriots fan, you're a Seattle fan, or you just hate the Patriots, which I get, you're sitting there in the third quarter going, they're going to still probably somehow pull this out. But man, I was shocked on how Josh McDaniels did not adjust. Run some swing passes, run some more screens, figure something out. But then Drake May looked like it was the moment was too big for him after getting sacked early.
Yeah, that could be part of it, Barney, but also like he had a little vitamin T shot to the shoulder before the game. We later found out the tore it all. Like, how banged up was he? And this is actually like an issue for the NFL. How much money, like at a time now where everyone's in the wagering and you're partnering with books, who knows, who doesn't know what's happening there? Drake May was not on the injury report on Friday, but he's getting a shot to his throwing shoulder before the game.
Mm-hmm.
That is really, really sketchy and really, really murky. And I spoke with somebody who works in the gambling industry, and I was told that one lucrative book profited $120 million on the Super Bowl. And you're saying to yourself, what? How could that possibly be?
Yeah.
So many props did not hit. If I told you that Seattle's going to put up 29 points, but the quarterback's not going to throw for 2 touchdowns, you're saying to yourself, well, the running back for sure is at least going to score 1, right?
Yeah.
A backup tight end and a defensive touchdown is how Seattle got right. Seattle got into the end zone. May only threw for 1. Stevenson, New England abandoned the run. Every rushing prop for the Patriots didn't hit. So all those fun prop bets, all those parlays, whatever, none of them cashed.
Including picking Seattle's quarterback to throw for more yards than New England's. Did not cash.
Did not cash.
Bad Super Bowl.
Drake May has let me down in so many ways.
Bad Super Bowl. Bad Bunny, I'll even take Bad Bunny. I watched it. I was like, who is this guy? What's going on? I was like, oh, okay, not maybe.
Take
not
the
maybe
over on his rushing yards?
Not Matt. Yeah. He moved. He carried the ball for a lot of yards.
I want to get one of those tree costumes for
Halloween.
Duck hunting.
No, I want it for Halloween.
Oh, it'd be awesome for duck hunting.
They got to be selling them. Unless they're just putting him in a room somewhere.
You can't reuse
But
it.
the music was catchy.
That halftime show was so much better than the first 2 quarters of football. I don't care. Okay, like entertainment, I'm like, this is just dreadful stuff.
It made me want to go and book an all-inclusive trip, and it reminded me of walking around a pool at a Mexican resort when Aquasizes starts, and it's this music, you have no idea what it is, but you're just happy that you got 2 drinks in your hand, and you're just rocking and rolling. All right. So I won't talk to you for a bit. I'll keep you updated on my bets, my Olympic bets.
Yes.
Getting after it. All right, buddy.
Enjoy your week off.
I will. Teeing it up.
Take care, Arash.
Bye, boys.
See you later.
brother.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani for Brian Golly. Smart investing solutions. Be smart with your money.
Don't
Call
make
Brian
bets
Golly.
on May.
On Drake?
Yeah.
No, you
Call Brian Golly instead.
bet on the U.S. Olympic women's team when they're -1.5 and Canada's missing their best player. That's where you come in.
Then you call Brian Golly.
And you call Brian.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it.
SportsCage. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Clutch performer, I got 2 of them. And one of them was historic last night in regards to our city.
I got a couple too.
We'll be right back. We talked about it earlier. It was a massive 2 points, 7-6 in overtime. Regina Pats last night over the Saskatoon Blades. Historic night as Maddox Schultz becomes the youngest Regina Pat ever to score a hat trick.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Cross ice for Schultz. Nice little move. He's got a breakaway. Maddox Schultz in. Scores! Oh my! Maddox Schultz! Schultz, top of the slot. Fires! Scores! Maddox Schultz! And that one does count! It's 6-6. 18 seconds left in the third period. To the middle. Here he comes. Can't get around Olsen. Schultz into the right corner for Regina. Comes busting in. Maddox Schultz scores! Overtime winner! Maddox Schultz, the hat trick! Maddox Schultz, the hat trick!
And those weren't garbage goals.
7-6, Regina wins.
He wasn't baking them in off his shin pads.
Those
were real.
That's
goals.
good looking STV right there. Maddox Schultz, the youngest to score a hat trick for the Regina Pats. A big 2 point. And then he's back in action tonight, 8 o'clock with his boy
C6.
Liam Pugh as the Pat Canadians take on Moose Jaw. What a game that is going to be if you have a chance. I got one more, but does anyone else have one?
I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
I got one. Last weekend, local product Luke Cote, who plays at Southern Arkansas University, finished tied for 5th at the Houston Classic in Humble, Texas. Same place they used to play the Houston Open. 7,600 yards they play.
Wow.
He finished his 3 rounds with -3. Best showing of the year for him. This kid, the defending Saskatchewan men's amateur champion, he can play.
7,600 yards.
Yeah.
He's going to get back to the Royal, and he's going to feel like he's playing the Lakeview Par 3.
It's a chip and putt for him.
That's a meaty golf course.
Yeah.
Shout out University of Regina men's hockey team having their senior night this Saturday as they take on Trinity Western to wrap up things at the Cooperators Arena. The team's honoring a total of 9 graduates. Jackson Steele, Jackson Doucette, Logan
Barloggy.
Who else we got? Payson Bjorkland.
Yeah.
Carter Belinsky, Eric Pierce, Aiden Third, Matthew Culling, and Eric Hauk. Get out there, watch some good hockey. The U of R.
Get Eric Pierce in there too?
Yeah.
You him? Okay.
Yeah, there's they knocked off
Manitoba.
Saskatchewan.
Knocked off Saskatchewan
in Saskatchewan.
And Manitoba in Manitoba. So
right on.
They're playing better here in the last half. Good luck to them in their last 2 games this weekend.
Keep plugging along, boys. And then Latvia, good on you. You tried, but it's going to be the USA 5-1 over Latvia at the Olympics. Clutch performer. I might as well give an update. You got one? I thought you said you didn't.
No, I was saying go to Sharky next. Oh. But Team Canada getting their first win, Macklin Celebrini getting the first goal. I thought it was pretty clutch. But with the Olympics, we can't show a whole lot of footage, but I did manage to find this, which is
I'm going to paint a picture for people listening on radio.
A dramatization of it, but
it's funny.
It's like a Lego.
For everyone who knows Microsoft Paint, somebody made Celebrini's goal in Microsoft Paint with some nice epic dramatic music here. And bam, he scores with the tip shot.
Because if you know anything about the Olympics, it's like it's FIFA and the Olympics. And I remember working on TV, Global Sports, it's like make sure you show nothing.
You can only
from
show
the
stills.
Olympics.
You can show stills.
You can show stills and put the score up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was always like, oh, are you kidding me? And I get they pay a lot of money for the rights and all that, but that is funny.
Yeah, the guy's called NBA Paint on Twitter. If you want to go see more of his
good friend.
Sell your product. Don't hide your product. Sell your product.
Speaking of that, speaking of selling product and sponsorships and all that was a clutch performer, by the way, for Glen Suitor in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Derek and Corey, if you want anything when it comes, or if you even wanted this quote, because it's nice out right now. Now's a good time to quote on some solar.
Good day.
Yeah, I think I get some solar here on my house, on my farm.
You'd have been moving the water to the cows today. Yeah.
My cabin. Big cabin. Get some solar on there. And then the cow thing, too. Yeah, Glen Suitor in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Big hockey game out there tomorrow. The sponsor of Clutch Performer. When we come back, we're going to have our first installment of the NASCAR report. Rubbing is racing. Sharky's going to put on his funny. Get onto YouTube right now.
Yeah.
SportsCage.com.
I'm going full gear.
Sharky is putting on the jacket. We'll be right back.
From the action-adventure film Sahara, opening April 8th in theaters everywhere, actor Matthew McConaughey.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Love that. Great start.
I really, 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 really want to go to one. I think it's so cool.
You got to do it one time.
All right, so it starts.
Love the jacket.
This weekend.
Well, it's the race Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The big race, the big circuit.
Not
Sunday.
in the Poconos.
We're not at the Tricky Triangle. We're at the Daytona Beach, Daytona, Florida.
On the beach.
The Daytona Motor Speedway, the Daytona 500. The first race of the year every year. It's fantastic.
Look at that jacket. That thing's heavy. I wore it once.
It's good. It's a good coat. Perfect coat for today. Not too heavy, not too light, right? It's one of the best super speedways on the circuit and the best race of the year. Buckle up for 200 miles an hour. That's what we're doing.
Jeez.
With the start of the 26th season, all news is rather quiet. No big changes for drivers or teams. Shane Van Gisbergen, who now drives number 97. Two teams have dropped the Ford line for Chevy. Not a surprise in my eyes. Kulig Racing has brought Ram back to NASCAR. They're going to use it in the truck circuit. And they're looking to be the lead NASCAR team to bring Ram back to the big circuit next year. Brad Keselowski has been cleared to race despite breaking a leg in December while skiing. I would not take him in your pool this week. Favorites are out the windows. There's just too many things that can happen at the speedways. But last year's leaders are always a great look, including William Byron and the number 24, who's looking for his third Daytona win. Other changes this year. No longer is it win and you're in for the playoffs. Top 16 drivers on the year based on points are in the chase for the championship, and no more elimination round through the playoffs, so all 16 get to compete right to the end. Great changes coming up for the past couple of years. Only the final 4 drivers are really working in the last race. This year, all drivers are eligible to win, as points are based on the complete 10 playoff races. Finally, the final race of the season this year is moving from Phoenix Raceway to Miami. Phoenix track is great, but Miami is a bigger challenge with more exciting finishes. So we're looking forward to a great 2026 season, and it starts Sunday at Daytona Beach. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Very nice, Sharky.
Yep.
Our first one of the year, the NASCAR report for Croft Electric, 27 years. Follow them on all socials. Sign up for their preferred program. And if you need a generator, especially for that cabin,
yep.
Because I know a lot of you out there, you don't want to, that's the thing. You have a cabin, and things go wrong, you want to have a generator.
Yeah. I've got one of his portable ones. Go anywhere.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I can take it anywhere I want.
I should get into the market for one of those. So that was your NASCAR report. Let's take it. Should we continue? So Sharky starts sweating in that? Here, we go to
It's not too bad, or we can go to break. Either way.
We'll go to break. It's a Sports Cage. We're streaming through our YouTube channel if you want to watch along at sportscage.com. Okay, what we've been doing here for the show, Thursday, Access Communications. Trusted in rural Saskatchewan for internet, TV, and home security. Sharky's with me for Flooring Superstore. Park Street, over 20 years in business, cash and carry, or they'll find someone to do that flooring job for you. 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line. We've been asking people your favorite or your most memorable Olympic hockey memory. We've had some people that have gone back to 88, the Russians beating the Soviet Union, USSR, beating Finland in the Saddle Dome. We've gone back to Lillehammer.
94.
It was like the 2-year gap there. It was Lillehammer and Albertville, France.
There you go.
I almost said Sarajevo.
Sarajevo's 88. No, 84.
And it was Peter Forsberg, one hand on Corey Hirsch.
The dangle.
Eric Lindros was there. A lot of the demographic of Coulson, you've gone with Sidney Crosby in Vancouver.
Yep.
Goal out of the corner. Sharky went with Salt Lake City and Paul Correa scoring through the legs of Lemieux and Joe Sakic's snapshot.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
So Joseph, and it's 936-6262. Let us know yours, but if you want to go to the Pats Warriors game tomorrow, which is a big game, give us the comment and also say, put me in for the Pats tickets. Coulson's compiling a list. There's been a lot of you. Let's single out Joseph here. The problem with Wickenheiser's comment, because I said Haley Wickenheiser in Salt Lake City being all pissed off about the Americans supposedly stomping on the flag.
Yeah, had it on the floor.
And it had a comment. He says the problem with Wickenheiser's comment about the flag was passionate, but it was found out later it never happened.
Dun, dun, dun.
Regarding the flag on the floor. That's Joseph. I don't know. You could look that up and you fact check on that. More.
It reminds me of a fact check we did earlier or something else I want to ask Coulson about.
James says Jeff O'Neill tells a great Lindros story. The big guy asks O-Dog at a face-off, why are you here? O'Neill says, Eric, do you want me to get someone else? That's good. Kevin, my Olympic hockey memory is a bunch of us were getting banged up the night before a Canada game, trying to stay up all night to make it for a beer at the bars when it finally opened early in these at 6 a.m. and needless to say, none of us made it. Advil was in high demand. Well, we had some messages last week or whatever about viewing parties for the Canada games. Would have been a great idea. Would have taken a lot of organizing.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice. Some of the bars are being allowed to, I haven't even heard, not that I want to give free plugs. If any bars, people are going to get after it early in the morning. I guess it was Thursday today. It was 9:40. Could have taken down a beer and clam or two.
Little bacon and eggs, beer and clam.
Yeah.
Just like a fishing trip.
Caesars.
Yeah.
Doug and Craig.
It's like a fishing trip.
Sorry, Dougie from Aylesbury.
Described all my problems.
He doesn't have anything on the... I was just reading this. It was at the top. Nothing on the Olympic hockey. Who's no name says Lillehammer. Again, Corey Hirsch in net. Deshaun Burke. Again. Somebody commented no name about Deshaun Burke. Did seem like he played for a lot of Olympics.
It wasn't as many as you think, but because I looked it up. Where did it go here?
Was he in 88? Was it him and Andy Moog for Canada in 88 in Calgary? Saddle Dome was new.
Hang on, I'm trying to get up to that.
Saddle Dome was awesome.
It was when it was first built.
Yeah, now it's
tire fire now.
It's at the end of the.
He was in 88.
Burke?
Yep.
Who was the backup? Does it say?
Hang on, 1 second.
In 1988, Canada's
Andy Moog.
men's. Yeah. I-Tech
and
guy.
Rick Costi.
Ricky.
I believe Rick Costi is a former Weyburn Red Wing. So if current Bronco Minnesota Tigers.
Randy Smith on that team?
Was Randy Smith from North Battleford, Saskatchewan?
He's originally from Saskatoon. He's a beauty.
Yeah, he went to. No, I don't see him.
Well, keep them coming, 936-6262. Let us know if you want to win Pat's tickets. We are going to give away a SportsCage hat later with the SJHL Report in Hour 3 for Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor for GP Financial Services. Benny Walchuk's going to be in, so a chance to win one of those fancy SportsCage SJHL hats as well. Canada did win. I know I'm going to do this in the ticker here right away, but we're 3 more medals today, so we're clawing. As for hockey, it would just finished USA over Latvia.
5-1.
5-1.
Yep.
And Germany, the final score, it says it's still live. Coulson, maybe you want to buzz that on there. No, it's completed.
What's that one at?
Germany wins 3-1 over Denmark. So,
Coulson, I like to point out when I'm right because it happens so few times.
All right.
If you go back to the book, do we have my Super Bowl score prediction? You have that in there?
You're waiting until
I forgot about it.
2 hours through the show.
I remember it last night when laying in bed. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to ask Coulson about my Super Bowl prediction.
I have to find where I wrote them down. My pages are getting disorganized.
Coulson, you have one job. One job. Keep track of the crap we do.
Believe it as Sochi 2014 Canadian women came back at the end of the third period to beat the USA for a goal. That is Donna.
Yeah.
That sent that in.
That's a good one, Donna. Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember the Sochi. I don't really remember Pyeongchang.
I don't remember Pyeongchang, but we didn't put a hockey team in Pyeongchang. Well, we didn't put an NHL team.
I don't remember Turin.
Well, I remember Turin because we were bad. Yeah, we were.
You said we were beat up. Go pull up that roster. Okay. That's a Canada's men's roster in Turin, and let's see some of the names on that. But I can't believe I spelled that all correctly. Goalies, we were good in net. Brodeur and Luongo.
Yeah.
On the back end, Rob Blake, Jay Bouwmeester, Adam Foote, Brian McCabe, Chris Pronger, Wade Redden, Robin Regier. Shout out roster in Saskatchewan. That's not a bad back end.
Not bad, but
up front, Todd Bertuzzi,
Shane Doan, Chris Draper,
Simon Gagne.
Yeah.
Danny Heatley.
Brad Richards.
Jerome McGinley.
Ryan Smith. Martin St. Louis. There were some guys that were...
Vincent Lecavalier. Yeah. Joe Thornton. Yeah, we should have medaled. We should have medaled.
I think we finished 6th. Yeah.
Man, they're out partying in Turin. They look good. Like, you watched that game today, and some of you out there watched it. The chemistry was there. I am, like I said, I'm far from the Canada homer, rah, all that. But, wow. Our third line was a buzzsaw. Bo Horvat and Nick Suzuki looked like, they've scored 70 multiple years in the show.
Yeah, exactly. No, we like I said, we sat here in the summertime and questioned some decisions about bodies, but clearly wiser people than us made the right decision.
Yeah, figure that.
Yeah, I don't know who they are, but whatever.
Olivia says Sidney Crosby's goal 2010. First time I watched the Olympics.
Good for you, Olivia.
And she wants to be entered for the Pats tickets. So that's how easy it is.
All right, I'll add her name.
Just like that.
Per Sharky's request, I found my sticky note.
It was on a sticky note, not in the book. It's not official.
The sticky notes go in the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
But right here you can see Sharky 27-13. 2 points off from the Seahawks.
You got it.
29-13.
You know what you win?
Nothing.
And then also found here, 2 days after the Olympics wrapped up in 2002, Hockey Canada and USA Hockey both put out a joint statement that there was no flag stomping.
There we go. That's what we do.
So it was a rumor, something or other.
There was a loony under the ice, wasn't there?
I think so, yes.
That was a Salt Lake. Yeah. Looney.
Yeah.
That was
loony.
That was big. Sports Ticker whenever you're ready. There, Coulson.
Sure thing.
It's time for the Sports Ticker. The Early Bird Spring Sale is on now at Extreme Hockey. 15 to 25% off store-wide. 1425 McIntyre Street. Online at extremehockey.net. And now open in Moose Jaw.
Canada, 3 more medallions at the Olympics. Today it was Mikael Kingsbury, silver in men's moguls. Elliot Grodin, he was in snowboard cross, finished second. And Courtney Saru, third place. Way to roll that up. 500-meter short track speed skating. We got 7. We are sitting with 7. If you missed it, Canada over Czechia. Little abuse there. 5-0 in game 1. Jordan Bennington, the shutout. The women's hockey team 5-0 over Finland. Canada women's curling 10-4 over Denmark. Hockey tonight, the Sexy Sixer, 8 p.m. Pat Canadians, Moose Jaw, AAA Warriors going to be a battle. Don't shake the glass. It's for first place. Prairie Junior Hockey League tonight, Silver Foxes 7:45 NOD at the Wick. Fort Knox is in town. And you can vote at sportscage.com. Who won CFL Free Agency? Great question. You can vote there. It is for Extreme Hockey and Sport, home of the price match guarantee. In Regina, 2 locations, and now in Moose Jaw, Temple Garden Center. They are local. They support local extreme hockey and sport. Hour 3's coming up. Glen Suitor. We're going to have the SJHL report, and we're going to rerun Scott Schultz from Hour 1. We'll be right back after the news. All right, we're back. Hour 3 of the program. My friend over there, the Sharky, brought to you by Flooring Superstar when he's in. Over 20 years in business. Access Communication brings us the program on Thursdays. They're trusted in rural Saskatchewan for home, internet, TV, and security.
And in my man cave.
Yes. We're getting a lot of people now. 936-6262, Prairieland Rentals text line. The flag stomping story. Roscoe says stomping of the flag did make a good story, though.
It did.
And it came out that was false. Haley Wickenheiser was passionate. We're asking people, what is their Olympic hockey memory? It doesn't have to be a win. It doesn't have to be Canadian. They've had a USSR entry.
Yep.
It could go way back. It could be, if Colson says, Vancouver, Sidney Crosby.
The year we beat Denmark 47-0.
The year, when was that? Was that Sarajevo?
That was, I think that was Antwerp.
Was that played outdoors?
It would have been outdoors, yeah. You know that Canada's leading scorer in the Olympics?
Ever? Will I be able to guess it?
No. Well, if you get it, it's a miracle.
What year?
He was born in 1898.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Harry Watson. Water played 5 games, and he scored 37 goals.
What a time to be alive. Hey?
That's over 7 goals a game. Nice work, Harry. See what else did Harry do?
A bunch of people are saying YouTube and Prairieland Rentals text line Paul Henderson. That wasn't the Olympics, though.
But
it was a Summit Series.
Excellent memory.
You can still go there for sure. And if you want to win Regina Pats tickets, while you give us your comment on the Prairieland Rentals text line, just say, I want to be entered to win 2 tickets to the Regina Pats tomorrow night. Moose Jaw Warriors, Brant Center, huge 2 points on the line. So keep those coming, but in the meantime and in between time, let's go out Western Pizza Guest Hotline. It's time for press coverage. We are joined by Glen Suitor. Would I be able to guess your top Olympic hockey memory?
Go for it. Yeah.
Is it Vancouver? Is it Vancouver?
It'd be Vancouver.
Definitely one of them. Yeah, definitely. I have two.
Okay.
And
what's the next
one? And one that's honorable mention that wasn't in the Olympics, but I'll go with that one first. The Gretzky to Lemieux, in what was it, 87, I think.
Canada Cup.
Yeah.
Canada Cup, and I mean the 6-5 games that were happening in that tournament were just a ton of fun to watch, and then Gretzky down the boards and dropping it to Lemieux to just roof it for the winner. That was off the hook great. Not Olympic moment though. Olympic moment, Vancouver for sure. And for me, it was kind of personal because I had done so many games in football with Chris Cuthbert and had many a conversation as he prepared to call that and calling the golden goal. So I was almost as nervous for Chris as I was for Team Canada watching that go down to the wire. And then Crosby and that little give and go was just typical Crosby. Probably, I have to go back and look, but he probably won the back check too before that even happened.
It was a Ginla, wasn't it? That kind of makes it happen down in the corner.
Yeah, it was a Ginla that made it happen out of the corner.
A Ginla getting greasy,
Yeah.
and then it gets onto Sid's stick, and he's got that straight stick, right? I've always marveled at how he can shoot the puck, but Ryan Miller was going to go for the poke check, which might have been the right play there.
Didn't work
But then he exposed the old 5-hole, and Chris Cuthbert with the call. That was famous. He calls a good game.
Does, yeah.
He calls a
goat.
good.
He's the goat, man. He's the goat, no question.
And
the other memory, and I'm going to ask you guys because I wonder if you remember in 1998. I will never forget the shot of Gretzky sitting, the best player in the world, sitting on the bench in the shootout and not being on the list. And just do you remember which players were on the list in the shootout in '98?
Yes.
I don't have them all, but I have two, but I don't have them all.
Hit me with it.
Theoren Fleury was one. Joe Nieuwendyk, which baffles me, was another one. Ray Bourque.
That's the one that really baffles me.
Eric Lindros.
Yes.
And then Bob Cole. He's got to score. No. Brendan Shanahan.
Yes. Yes. So
you ever hear this story, Suits? You like stories? Since it's story time, when we interviewed Theoren Fleury on the Monday Nooner a long time ago, and we talked about that game, and we talked about the shootout, Theo tells the story. They didn't know. So, for starters, that's a flag on how non-prepared, ill-prepared they were. And they're like, whoa, this is like a deciding game. What do you mean, shootout? And then he said the ice was so bad. So you kind of didn't really want to do, maybe you had a couple moves and all that, rolling puck, bad ice. So we did see a lot of shots. Lindros was the one that I remember where he had him. He had Hasek, and Hasek was a flopper.
He was all over the place.
That. Bourque went in and shot because he could take down targets in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Brendan Shanahan's was piss poor.
Yeah.
That was a bad D.
Well, I don't think he expected to be going out there.
Yeah, there's a Netflix series, The Y of 98.
Totally.
Call it that. The Y at the Big Hat. That was the name of the rink.
There's a whole Netflix series you can do just on Brendan Shanahan. I have a question for you, Suits.
I need to win the lottery because I got a lot of Netflix I want to do.
Suits, you worked a long time with Cuthbert. You guys did a lot of games together. Is there a particular call, whether you were there or not there, that you remember his that you think about?
I remember not in the booth with him, but the golden goal was magic. I mean, that'll last forever. And just, it was so quintessential Cuthbert because he is prepared for whatever moment, whatever outcome. He is thought through how he wants to get there. And you can just substitute the names, things like that. He works tirelessly at preparing for games. And one of the great calls, I know it's not a great memory for Rider fans, was when we were both completely silent when there were too many men. And then when he says 13 men, the 13th man has been, and I'm paraphrasing because he was fantastic at it, but has been the calling card for Saskatchewan, and tonight it cost them the Grey Cup. And just to be able to sum up
quickly,
so quickly what happens. It was one of the few times, and people will know this of me, but one of the few times that I really didn't know what to say, and I was fighting back emotion, not because it was the Riders, my former team, and those kind of things. I know a lot of people thought that, but it wasn't. It had nothing to do with that. It could have been reversed, where Montreal was the team that had 13 men, because I've never seen a game that was decided and then 20 seconds later was turned. The outcome was overturned. And, we've seen walk-off field goals, we've seen them missed, we've seen them made, all of those type of finishes, but those are immediate. One team knows they won and are celebrating. The other team is, understanding that they had lost. This was different. There was celebration on the Rider bench, and I couldn't fathom it as a player watching and seeing that unfold and seeing the mistake that was made basically before the snap of the ball. And, because mistakes happen in game all the time. You get a holding call, whatever. You live with all of those always. But this mistake happened before the ball was snapped. And I just felt for the players. I saw the shot of Fantus slamming his helmet, the shot of Coach Lapo in the booth, the camera angles and things. And I just thought, how would you stomach that, thinking you had won, and then 20 seconds later noticing the flag and seeing and having it ripped away from you? I didn't know what to say. I was completely speechless.
I think as speechless as you were, I couldn't even imagine the official that had to make that announcement. Like the official that's got to stay there and go, oh my God, of all the things I got to call right now, because there's no out. Yeah. Like he could have passed on a holding or an offside or right? He could have, but 13, I got to call that. There's no out.
And the guy that throws the flag from the back is probably like, I really need to triple count this. Am I seeing what I'm seeing here?
Yeah.
I've always thought about that. It's like, I can't throw this. There is legit 13. How dumb can you be?
Yeah.
Anyway, here. Was it Sean Campbell, who does play-by-play for the Montreal Alouettes that we've had on the show before? Somebody we've had on the show. Sometimes when people ask you about interviewing people or things from the sports cage that you remember, in the 2 years I've been doing this, one of the memories that's indented in my brain was I think it was Sean. He was working as basically a gopher in that Grey Cup for the league. He had the championship hats. He started handing them out.
Yikes. Yeah.
And then the flag, and then he had to go grab them back. Imagine that for a gig. But that I can't remember who told the story, but they were on this show, and it was unreal. Okay, let's get into free agency and the CFL.
Okay.
Wow. And Jeremy O'Day talked about it on Monday. The Rider players that were free agents are sought after, and they're getting paid out there, the guys that left, Glenn.
Yeah, and it's not a surprise. I mean, I know you have a question out there for the fans as to who they thought may have won free agency, and I think the answer to that question is more related to where they finished in the standings last year, how urgent free agency would be for different teams or different situations, and are you winning free agency if you're signing and you're the Riders and you're Grey Cup champions and you're signing a big chunk of your own players back? Is that winning? Because to me, if you're the championship team and you can get the majority of your players back, then that are all still in their prime, still playing great football, then that is that could be classified as a win. If you're a team like Ottawa who didn't make the playoffs, you need to go and change the entire sort of blueprint and look of your team. They may have won free agency because of all the signings they made. So, I think it depends on what angle you come from. I'd rather be the team that the BC Lions, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who were top teams in the league, Montreal's in that category too, top teams in the league that got most of their core players back. I think that's more of an indicator of a win because you keep that group together, and they start in training camp a step ahead of the team that had to bring in a whole bunch of players from other teams, and now you have to learn this system, and that can take a little bit more time for the team that went crazy like Ottawa.
Okay, of all the guys that have signed and then have departed, is there one that you thought the Riders really should have pulled out all the stops? And maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Is there one guy? The surprise for me, it's not the big bags of money, I guess it is Jake Maier, the amount of money he's getting in Ottawa.
Well, they need a quarterback. Like, they had to go out and get a quarterback.
It's a backup quarterback, though.
Yeah, but he wasn't when he was in Calgary. He was a starter there.
Did you watch him play last year?
Again, but
he's a serviceable backup. Where Cohen, I think he's going to be just as good. He's put in the time, and sorry if he's listening, we're paying him pennies on the dollar in comparison. But so Glenn, is there one guy? Is it they should have maybe they should have tried to get Baldonado, because he probably would have came in a little bit lower. Obviously, Carney, big money. AJ Allen, big money. Is there one guy though that you were like, oof, they really should have pulled out all the stops and maybe they just couldn't?
Yeah, I would put AJ Allen. I would put him on the top of that list because two things. One
Canadian.
is exactly. One is Canadian. I was going to start with the other one, which is his great season and where he is in his development as a player. I mean, he's a full-time starter, and he's Canadian, so that helps you with the ratio. So there's a lot of, but again, I know there's people that probably talked about Tommy Neal and different players like that. I mentioned Baldonado when free agency or the communication window opened. I talked about Baldonado as a sleeper. Carney's an obvious one, but tons of money. I think if you're Jeremy O'Day, I didn't hear the interview with O'Day, and I will go back and look at it, but I did hear Luke Mullender talk about it, and it sounds like some fans are upset that he didn't keep a couple of those guys. But you can't keep them all. And if you're going to say, okay, we wanted Tommy Neal back, and we put in jeopardy the chance to get Sam Emelis back, or we put in jeopardy the chance to get one of the other guys that they re-signed that were part of that championship run. So, there's that balancing act. Every time we go into free agency, we always say the same thing, which is you're going to lose some players, especially when you're the championship team. Look at the Calgary Stampeders as an example. Calgary Stampeders have not had one player sign on another team. Not one. No, the other teams in the league have not signed one Calgary Stampeder in free agency.
I'm waiting for a message to pop up on our YouTube chat. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, we've got to.
That shocks me. Dom Rhymes is still available as far as the last time I checked. And that's a great football player, but not one of the Calgary Stampeders were signed in free agency yet from, with any other team. So, I think you want to be that team that is looking at rebuilding through the draft and going down and finding brand new free agents that nobody knows about and bringing them in as competition, and then just plugging a little bit of holes that you're going to have because you're going to lose a couple guys, especially when you're at the top.
It's being on top that caused the losses, right? Nobody's going through Ottawa's roster and going, I want to sign that guy that gave up 400 yards a game, right? Nobody's going through Edmonton's roster and picking all the studs out of there, right? They're coming here.
Yeah, and there's good football players on those teams. But to your point, Barney, when you talked about quarterback and Jake Maier going to Ottawa and getting a lot of money to do it in number 2, Drew Brown has got an injury issue. I mean, it's not fair and it's unlucky and whatever you want to classify it as, but they're having trouble keeping Drew Brown on the field. And I think when we watch Drew Brown play, we think, hey, his upside is still there. I mean, it is fantastic. And then he gets hurt, and then they kind of start again, and they struggle. So I think if any team was going to overpay for a number 2 quarterback, it was going to be Ottawa, especially with Ryan Dinwiddie going in there.
Big time. And Jake Maier was the only real free agent quarterback to go out and get.
What about Trey? Have you forgot about Trey?
I have.
Like Dre?
Yeah, I forgot completely about Trey Ford. Yeah. Just like Edmonton's offensive coordinator forgot about him.
I have to ask Barney though. While before we run out of time,
go where I think you're going to go.
Go there.
I mean, are you okay? I mean, are you okay? Because
buddy, I cleaned up.
Your team.
I cleaned up.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I even booked an expensive golf course next week since I won some cake.
Note to self. Always bet on the other team that is not your team. So if you're going to cheer for one team, bet on the other. Because then you walk out of there a winner no matter what.
I hit the under by 1 point. I hit, and it was thanks to Arash Madani, defensive touchdown. Hit that.
Yeah, I heard that one. I heard Arash say that. Yeah.
Then our survivor came down to a split, so that was a nice season-long win. And then a few other small ones. The only one I lost was the 3-point game. I thought it would be a 3-point game. Regardless, that was awful to watch. That was a bad Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
And somebody texted in yesterday, Brian, about like how good our Grey Cup game was. And we've had some really good Grey Cup games. And then the Super Bowl was an absolute snoozer.
But the NFL game can be like that.
Every game can be like that.
It can be.
Yeah.
I would have rather watched Hafford, Lumsden, 9-a-side final. Or any day of the week.
Yeah, we
instead
talked
of
about
Bad Bunny, we could have had Brad Johnner.
Yeah.
What did you think of Bad Bunny? You guys okay with Bad Bunny?
It's okay.
That's getting a lot of news and a lot of press down south. More so than the game. I mean,
it was bigger than
you probably started, like when Kramer had those seizures in Seinfeld, when Mary Hart would come on in E.T., you probably started dancing like you were back in the Cayman Islands. And your wife was like, what are those moves over there, Tiger?
I did like the way they brought in the props and made it look like the island, like made it look like you're on the beach. Yeah. And there were, that capturing the culture, Puerto Rico, I thought was cool. At the end of the day, it's so subjective. Music is so subjective. Yeah. I can listen to rock songs or rap songs and not know what they're talking about either. So as far as
I listen to Ukrainian music all the time, Vitravia, I have no idea what it means, but I love tapping my toe to that.
But you love it, yeah, you love it. And
who stole the Kishka? Who cares? It's a good tune.
I think there was a nice unity message in there. I really do. I think there was a nice unity message, and when he listed off all of the countries, and I was anxiously waiting for Canada, and bam, it hit, and I went, okay, there we go. But Barney, you didn't take my Cooper Kupp over 30-yard. No. I gave you that prop, man.
Sorry, buddy.
I took him for MVP.
Well, I don't know about MVP, Sharky.
That seems risky, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's risky, but at 30 plus, I think he was 440 plus 440 or something. It was
that would have been a good bet, Glenn. Yeah. That would have been a good. Okay, but no, all in all, it was good. I won't talk to you next week. I am off with all the winnings from the Super Bowl. So It's nice to catch up. Sharky is trying to find one, and I would like one of those plant costumes. I think that's a great Halloween costume. Sharky thinks it's for hunting.
I want it for duck hunting. That tree thing?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be an amazing blind? Yeah.
Sharky, I'm just glad you didn't say I want it for fishing.
Shark even started looking for balls in there. He's like, that's a drop, 2-stroke penalty. 2 strokes.
There's got to be a ball in here. I hit it. There's got to be a ball in here.
All right, Glenn.
Have a good time off, Barney.
Have a good weekend.
All right, see you next week.
There is press coverage.
Cooper Kupp had 60, by the way.
With our,
Yes. Yeah, I think he was leader. Wasn't he leader, Colson?
I don't have that in front of me, but
Seattle?
60's up there for how much they were throwing the ball.
Oh, because when Njigba went down,
Yeah.
they had to go to him.
Yeah.
Patriots, man, run a bloody swing pass. He didn't.
Okay, fellas, have a good one.
Thanks. Blood's boiling now. Press coverage of the Suits. Let's go to break. We come back. SJHL Report. Benny Walchuk. We're giving away a hat. We'll talk some SJ. It's a Sports Cage. Streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. 3 more medals for Canada at the Olympics. Mikhail Kingsbury, silver in men's moguls. Elliot Grodin, second in a tight men's snowboarding cross final. And Courtney Saru. She won third place. That's a bronze medal in 500-meter short track speed skating. Canada's medal count now at 7. Hockey, the women win 5-0 over Finland. The men win 5-0 over Czechia. We also win in women's curling today. Still leading medal count is the Italians with 17. Hockey tonight at the Sixer, big one. Pat Canadians, Moose Jaw AAA Warriors, 8 p.m. puck drop there. It's for Steelcraft Doors in Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians. You need a garage door. They got a 40,000 square foot facility on Park Street to hook you up. Regina Steelcraft Doors. What a question Sharky just threw on us here before the SJHL report. We'll have to maybe get to that in a bit. Let's go. SJ with Benny.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League reports with Benny Walchuk on the Sports Cage. The SJHL report is brought to you by Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, GP Financial Services, and Aviso Wealth. If you need a second opinion on your retirement plan, Chad and his local team are available for a no-obligation meeting.
Oh, and he's in studio.
Look at him.
Look at me.
With his hat. Speaking of Chad Reach, said we got to start promoting individualized and family-oriented retirement planning. So you've got family, sit down, some financial planning, and then don't forget your employer plan might not be right for you. Chad Reach and his team can help out. Benny, it's been a while.
It is.
Are we going? Can we first go to at sportscage.com? The power rankings that were released. Sharky, any confusion on that for you this week?
No, well, it's different than what Benny's got on the SJHL site, so I'm just following along here. I don't get Nipawin being ahead of Weyburn, but that's my only...
Why?
Nipawin's played some good hockey here as of late. Gage Roberts had back-to-back shutouts, so then they had a big win over Battleford this past week. So they have a little bit of a late push here to push them up. Weyburn has struggled. They've lost 4 in a row right now after a tough road trip through Flin Flon. I know they played some pretty good hockey up in Flin Flon, but that's probably the only difference from those two.
Okay, I can buy into that. Yeah. Okay.
What about... I'm looking Estevan. What's up with the Bruins?
It's a stumble right now. Of course, Ewan Rennie, the top scorer of the SJHL, got injured, so he's out for about 4 games. He did return last night against Melfort, and they unfortunately lost. So they've lost 8 in a row, and it's just been kind of a free fall for the Estevan Bruins. That was a big part. They lose a lot of offense, just not getting any depth scoring. Goaltending maybe has been a little bit inconsistent as well. So it's been a tough go there in Estevan right now, and they're kind of, like we were talking about them at the beginning of the season, one of the league leaders, and now they're out of the playoff picture right now. So that's just how fast things can change in the league.
If you haven't won anything on CKRM in the last 30 days and you want one of those snazzy Sports Cage SJHL hats like Benny's wearing in studio here, we're giving one away right now. We can't ship it, so you got to pick it up. 936-6262. Call Coulson. I want to ask you, Flin Flon, top-ranked team from the power ranks.
Yeah.
With your eyeballs, what you've seen with all the teams that you've seen, who matches up well against Flin Flon?
Right now, Weyburn had a good stretch, but I think either Nipawin or Yorkton. We talked about Nipawin playing in that barn and getting good goaltending and playing that rugged style. With I know Tad was under Doug Johnson in Melville for a number of years, so he's kind of taken Doug's system a little bit. And then Yorkton I think can score with them. Like they played some very good hockey. We always talk about that top line with Yorkton. I just want to mention you mentioned the Pat Canadians at the Cooperative 6. Another local guy here from Regina, Cash Lanigan, Of course, Cash won a national title with the TELUS Cup or the last year with the Pat season. Maybe didn't play the role because look how much talent they had on that roster. But Cash is getting a chance to play top 6 minutes. And he's one of the top scoring rookies in the SJHL. So I just want to give Cash his dues because he probably goes under the radar a little bit with the Gabriel Courchain, who's league in scoring. You got William Leonard, the top scoring goal scorer in the SJHL. So Cash has had a great stretch and just a great young man. He's playing out of his mind the last number of games. Relentless and a very good skater.
He's doing it with a full shield, right? He's still got to wear the full mask because he's young.
That might change next year when he puts the half shield. He's a guy that he came in there. He was on the first round pick of the Terriers, and he went to Kelowna's camp. He's a guy that had a good year. He can make his jump to the Western Hockey League next year. Just the way he can skate, and he's never scared on the ice, and he's in the right place at the right time. So just good to see for Cash.
I heard he loves it.
Yeah.
There, just absolutely loves it, and he's having a great season. Sorry, Sharky, go ahead.
We got a battle though for the last playoff spots. We have 5 teams right in the mix for the last 3 spots. Who do you got coming out of there?
Yeah, right now I think Humboldt made all those deals at the deadline, and then they're playing out of your mind hockey. They did lose a player, Rylan Hugh, one of their top scorers, left to Brooks just a couple of days ago. So we still got those kind of exodus to the BCHL, and they're just playing good hockey. Braden's got them playing very, very well. Oliver Phillips, he's 6'7" out of the OHL. He's playing very good for them. And then you talk about Malville. Malville's got a lighter schedule here. They do have some games in hand on the other teams, and they have some home dates with some teams below them in the standings. So they do have those games in hand, but they don't matter unless you win them. So that's right. I think it's Malville and Humboldt. I think Malford make a run. I think Estevan might be on the way out, and I think Kindersley. I know Kindersley's right now into 6th. I think right now in the SJHL standings. I think they're a team that could drop as well. So I could say Malville, and I think Humboldt's going to stick in.
Luke Walters, music man for the Pat C's tonight. How about a little back-to-back rock set? I don't even know if I can go to the game, actually. He might be wearing a SportsCage hat. He says, better see Benny at the Sixer tonight.
Old coworker of mine is Luke from Yorkton. So
really?
Maybe I'm his mentor. Maybe I'm his hero. He probably won't admit it, but
get up there.
He's got a great voice, and he's great to see him on. I've watched a couple of games from the Pat C. It's nice to see Luke on the mic.
I think they should. They need to go Nickelback "Breathe" as an entrance tune.
You like that one, don't you?
It's underrated. Okay, let's go games this week. What are we circling?
There's a busy weekend for everybody. I'm going to go Nipawin and Weyburn, I think, on Saturday, Melville and Weyburn on Friday, and then there's 4 games on Family Day Monday. So it's a busy weekend for all the teams, but I'm going to go Nipawin and Weyburn on Saturday nights at the Whitecap Resources Center. Then we'll go Melville and Weyburn on Monday, and I think the Grey Cup's going to be there. I think the Grey Cup and the Tour is going to be in Weyburn on Monday. So definitely go down there, have a KFC buffet maybe, and check it out there for a post maybe a family day meal, or go to Pump Jacks there in Weyburn as well. So it's a good place to stop.
You're talking now. Quickly, we got 30 seconds. What is your Olympic hockey memory that's kind of etched in your brain?
I thought about this listening on the way in. There's I think 2002, of course. I was watching a lot because my dad's cousin, Don Walchuk, was in the Olympics in 2002, winning a silver medal in curling with Kevin Martin. So I was watching that one ultimately. But 2010 it's outstanding. It just the way the whole Olympics in 2010 was outstanding, from the Olympic win to 2010 to John Montgomery from Russell, Manitoba, walking along the strip, drinking beer, and just the many gold medals we won during that Olympic Games. So I got to go with 2010, but 2002 is pretty close.
Yeah,
there we go. SJHL Report. Benny was in studio, brought to you by Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor for GP Financial and Avisa Wealth. He said we got a family-oriented retirement planning. You can sit down with his team. Job changes, life changes. They will work with you. Chad Reach and his team. You can visit him, gpfinancial.ca. It is a sports...
Does he bring the family? I'm going to need a family for this.
Yeah, well, you need help on a few different areas. That's for sure. It's a Sports Cage. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.